Hello, and welcome to Grug Gaming. And welcome to what you can tell by the title screen, of course, but also the dulcet tones and beautiful kelp forest in the background is a new playthrough of Dominions 4. In a previous playthrough, we played as early age Ermor, which was a mythical version of the Roman Empire. Ermor, of course, is Rome spelled backwards. And in that playthrough, as we got near the end, we began using a lot of death magic. We even brought back one of our prophets, Dhuna, as a zombie, basically, to fight for us. So, in this playthrough, we're going to continue as if we had won that battle. Our god ascended, and now that god has disappeared again, and the new empire of Ermor is trying to ascend to godhood as it did previously. So we're going to create a new game. We're going to play on a medium random map, so not a giant map. And let's call this MA Ermor LP, shall we? So earlier we were in the early ages. We're going to play in the middle ages this time. And unlike my previous playthrough, I'm not going to read every single thing that comes up, but I won't be explaining as many of the menus. But we'll still be explaining things as we go along. If you'd like more explanations, you can go ahead and watch my early age Ermor playthrough. So we're going to be in the Middle Ages. Civilization has continued to make progress, and modern technologies like iron are now available to most nations. Mages have lost some of their former power, and magic resources are not as abundant as before. We're going to add in 4 extra players. Give us 5 AI. And again, we are not going to bump the AI up. As you've seen in my previous game, not the best strategist, especially if you're a longtime watcher of Grug Gaming. You know that we mess up quite a bit. So, we're going to leave them at something we can handle. Now, we need to choose our nation. So these 3 nations right here, these are the 3 splinter nations of Ermor. And basically what happens is, Ermor becomes the Ashen Empire, which is a land of the dead. Skeletal legions march from the Ashen Empire to conquer the lands of the living. There's Sceleria. Sceleria is a splinter empire that emerged when the great empire of Ermor was swallowed by powers from the Underworld. Now Sceleria is a land of the dead, is a land where the dead and the living walk side by side. So Sceleria has legionnaires, just like we had in ancient Ermor, along with some undead troops. And then there's Pythium. Pythium is a splinter empire that broke free from Ermor when it fell, uses legionnaires, but also serpent cataphracts and hydras. The thiers of Pythium are powerful priests and astral mages. Pythium uses theurgical communion to empower their mages in battles. So Pythium is all people, no undead in their basic army setup. Of course, this is Dominions. Anyone can use undead if they really, really want to. So we are going to be playing as, well, there we go, the Ashen Empire. Go ahead and hit OK here. Ermor, the Ashen Empire. Ermor was once a great empire that had conquered most of the known world. The realm crumbled as the great mages of the empire studied dark magic under the Sauromancers of Satis. Unaware of the dangers of dark sorcery, priests performed unholy rites in the capital city of Eldergate, but there were voices who demanded the foul practices to stop. Theurgs and thaumaturgs foresaw the cataclysm and advised generals, governors, and consuls to revolt. When the apostate emperor marched on Ermor itself, the augurs and bishops of the empire were forced to act in concert. In one cataclysmic event, death was let loose and the empire was shattered. The cataclysm attracted attention from an earlier god, a dark and hungry god. The vast power of this awakening god erased the boundaries between the land of the living and the land of the dead. Ermor is now a cursed land of ashes and darkness, where nothing grows. The bones of long-dead inhabitants reassemble to form legions of undead, under the leadership of the cursed priests of the old Ermorian faith. Undead legions march forth to reconquer a world once theirs. The Ermorian Dominion reanimates the dead, without the aid of unholy priests. It also destroys the land, turning crops and forests into ashes, and people and livestock to bones. So, our race, we are undead, We don't need supplies. We can go underwater. We're unbreakable. And we can walk day and night. No fatigue on our regular troops. Our military is full of Undead Legionnaires, waiting ladies, unholy knights, and hordes of the newly dead. Our basic mages will have access to death, fire, astral, and some of the elements. We have powerful priests who can reanimate the dead, and our Dominion reanimates the dead and kills population. And this is kind of important because what this means is that as we conquer areas in the game, the people will die off and we will begin getting less gold. So gold is going to be the toughest part of our empire because we just won't have a lot. But we're going to get our troops for free. So we'll hit OK here. We need to choose our god. So because we're going to be so reliant on our Dominion being strong to raise up our armies and troops, we're going to go with an immobile pretender. So we're going to choose the Statue of the Underworld. It's reduced by 20 points for this nation. It's kind of thematic to our nation. And if we look at this, the Statue of the Underworld is a primordial spirit of the Underworld that was brought to this world by a previous Pantocrator to watch over the final phase of the cycle of life and death. When the cycle was set, its services were no longer needed, and the spirit was bound in a huge stone for eternity. When the Pantocrator gone, its powers have begun to manifest themselves, and it is now worshipped as a reawakening god. The spirit cannot leave the statue, but it can possess willing targets in order to make its will heard and to perform tasks such as forging items for enchantment. The spirit is tremendously strong in its dominion. In a physical battle, the statue would be difficult to destroy, even though it cannot strike back. Alright, so Starch Dominion 4, Magic Pass costs quite a bit. So what we're going to do is, we're going to choose that. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pump our Dominion all the way up to 10. We want our Dominion to spread really far. We want to get as many free troops as we can, which we're just going to crush our enemies with. Next up, we want to have a lot of death magic on our god, because our god is going to be doing some spell casting later on for us. So we're going to get, this is just kind of a feel again. I like 8 magic is pretty good, or if we go to 9 we can get death weapons. Let's see where we end up in a second. So we're going to go imprisoned. I want the extra points because we have to spend so much on our Dominion. I'm going to up our luck. I want there to be a lot of events, and I want those events to be good for us because extra events can bring us extra gold, which is the thing that we don't have a lot of, and it can also bring us extra gems, and we are going to be a nation that depends on our casting and summoning. So we are going to need pretty much all the gems that we can get. So that leaves us 145 design points. Let's take a look at what we could do. We could increase Order of Turmoil, but again, taxes, we're not too worried about it. I mean, we could try and get a little bit more income. We could try to get some extra events to happen, but at the lack of income, we don't want to negatively impact our income to begin because we'll need the money to begin with. Production, we don't need resources for our army. Again, the income, we're not going to be getting that much overall, so we don't really need that. And then there's heat and cold. So undead units are not as affected by heat or cold. So we could push this up, we could push this down to the cold level. And you see it hurts our income though, and I don't want to hurt our starting income again, but we'll leave that where it's at. We now have the growth death stat. We could put this in to try and offset the dying off that's going to happen in our empire, but I don't think we need to really offset it. We'll just live with what we have. And then we have magic drain. We could add more magic for more research, or we could make our world less magical. A lot of people like to add drain. They think they don't need the research. I'm going to leave it at 0. That leaves us a bunch of points. I think we will need to add a little bit of magic in that we don't have. And I'd like to add in some earth magic. I think. Let's do this. We're going to go to 10 in our Death Magic, and we're going to go to 3 in Earth. And that's just what we're going to go with. I don't care about the rest. That looks good to me. Doesn't have to be perfect. Let's name our god. Well, what happened was, after much time as a great undead, the spirit of this ancient god that was let loose took over the lifeless form of our old prophet, Dhuna. Remember, Dhuna started out as a sword-wielding monkey, and now he's the god of a nation. So we'll say okay to that. All praise Dhuna. Alright, we need to set up our game settings. What we're going to do is we are going to increase the Hall of Fame to 15 so we can have more heroes. We are also going to increase... what do we want to do? Special sight frequency we'll put up to 50. Let's see. We don't want random events every single turn. That's too much. I kind of like it set like that. Do we want story events? Let's see. Let's go ahead and do story events this time. We didn't do story events last time. Let's add those in. We want to be able to rename our troops. And that should be everything that we need. Okay. So it's going to generate the map. We're at 11 minutes so far, so we're going to talk about our nation and see where we're at on this map here. Oh, borders getting drawn in. Alright, let's see where we end up. In the beginning there was chaos. Let's read through it. Out of chaos rose worlds populated with multitudes of beings. Wars were fought, kings and emperors rose and fell, and civilizations were built and crumbled as millennia passed. Gods, dark and strange, were worshipped in pagan temples. Still there was chaos. The gods fought among themselves, bringing ever greater ruin to those who would serve them. At last there was one, a being of great power and enlightenment, who rose above his immortal peers and cast them out of the heavens into oblivion. From chaos came order, and with order came peace. When the creatures of the world flourished, the age of chaos had ended. So that's the rising of the Pantocrator. And then now the wheel has turned once again. Now the wheel has turned once again. The supreme god was suddenly disappeared. Prayers are left unanswered, and the smoke of offering rises in vain to the heavens. No one knows why he disappeared, but it is certain that the people of the worlds were once again left without direction, without guiding principle, without order. Now is the time for the beings of great power and ambition to try their strength. The throne of the heavens stands empty, and only the strongest can rise to supremacy over all. Only the most powerful can ascend to take the place of he who came before. This is the time of great strife and suffering. This is a time of magic unequaled. This is the Ascension Wars. All right. So we got a border province, a coastal province. Let's take a look at how our map looks. Pretty good size. Again, I like the wraparound. I like too that we have a northern and southern border. So pretty good number of provinces. We're very close to a throne to begin. Just to give you the basics of the way Dominion's 4 works. You want to take these different territories, think kind of like Risk, and we are going to want to take these thrones. The first person on the map to capture all of the thrones wins the game. So you don't have to wipe everybody out, you just need to take these spots. So we have, where are all the thrones at here? We have 2 of them very close here. We have another one here, and another one here. One up here, and one more over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I thought there were 7. Oh, there's one in the ocean right there. 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness. Maybe there's only 6 thrones. This happened last time, folks. I couldn't remember how to win the game. We have an easy way to find out. Nope. Push all the buttons. There we go. 6 thrones. There we go. And these are the thrones in play. We also can see who we're fighting against. Let me take a look at that menu again one more time. Yep. Where is... so here's who we're up against. We have ourselves. We are Lemuria. I mean, not Lemuria. We are Ermor, the Ashen Empire. Lemuria is a different empire. We are up against Ulm. Ulm is one of my favorite groups as well. Ulm is kind of the... they start out as barbarians, and here in the Middle Age, they have the strength of steel. They're heavily armored troops. We have Achilles in charge of the Golem cult. I have never played against them before. Okay. They have pale ones. I think those are giant creatures that lives in caves, if I remember right. Corkle, is this Abyssea? Oh. I hate Abyssea. Why is Abyssea in every single game that I play? Alright, Abyssea are people that are made up of, like, fire beings, and they always have these assassins, and I hate their assassins. We also have Anakim, Ashdod, and I believe Ashdod are giants. Let me take a look here. Yes, giants that live in the desert. And last up is Zabalba, the flooded caves. Another cave-based... these are the bat people. Well, this is going to be a fun game. So, the bat people... Flying stealthy light infantry is the problem. They can get behind our lines and attack our leaders, so we need to watch out. So that gives us an idea of who we're up against. So now that we know who we're fighting, let's take a look at ourselves real quick. Being that we are Ermor, whoa, get centered here, the Ashen Empire, you'll see that our troops are little skeleton guys. There we go. And it's cool because they're like Skeletal Legionnaires with a big legionary shield and a little spear. So let's go to recruit our units. Oh wait, we can't. There's no units for us to recruit. What will we do? Well, the way our nation actually works is very cool. We are not going to recruit any units. At least not of our own people. We can still recruit units from provinces if we take them over. But we will be summoning our units. So you'll see we start with one Spectre here. I think Spectator? Yes. Add in all the Spectator. The mages of Old Ermor perform rituals that corrupted and destroyed the Old Empire. These mages are now summoned from the dead to wage war against the living, and they are now known as Spectators or Dusk Elders. The mages do not possess solid bodies, but their spirits are connected to the Netherworld, and their powers of death magic are greater than ever before. The mere touch of these mages will drain the life energy of the target and replenish the power of the mage. They are ethereal, very difficult to harm without magic weapons. So we look at our Spectator. 2 death magic, 9 research points. They're poor amphibians. Again, all our undead are amphibious. They cause fear. They're cold resistant, poison resistant, undead, so no morale to worry about. They don't need to eat. They cause a chill wind around them as well. Ethereal, so hard to hit, and they're stealthy and can sneak. We also have Igverd. God, I love the names in this game so much. Igverd the Censor. The Censors were judges in the Old Empire, and now they are revived by black magic to serve the Empire once more. They are armored in rusty plate hubrics and wield battle axes in the fashion of the Lictor. Censors can only be revived with the use of strong magic. They are so closely connected with the Netherworld that they are surrounded by a wind of numbing cold. Censors are corporeal, undead, and leathery, dried flesh that can withstand much damage. So our Censors, our main troop leader, which is kind of different. See how he only has a leadership 10? He actually can lead 120 undead, so this number's a little offset. They're sacred troops, so we have that high level of death magic, means that if we can bless this troop, they will get special bonuses. They also are cold resistant, poison resistant, undead, don't eat, and have that chill factor. So this is actually might help us against Abyssea. we might not be in too bad a shape. But you'll notice that we can't recruit any other generals. That's because we're going to have to summon them. So, if we go to research and look under conjuration, let's just go ahead and start researching that now. You'll see that we have some specific magic. We can summon a Lictor, and in blue means it's our nation only. Other nations don't have these spells. We can summon a Lictor. The Lictors are dignitaries entrusted with keeping the order during the Empire's glory days. Lictors are corporeal undead of great physical strength. They are armored with rusty plate hubrix and wield great axes, formerly used as a sign of their office. Lictors are so closely connected to the Netherworld that they are surrounded by a wind of numbing cold, just like our other guys. We can revive a censor. Censors are that general we just showed. We can summon acolyte and bishops, and we'll read their full descriptions when we summon some, so we don't have to just kind of not see a cool picture with them. We can revive Spectator, our basic mage, and then we have the Archbishop and the Dusk Elder. Now you'll notice we don't have enough magic to raise this Dusk Elder yet. That's okay, because we're going to be building some items later on to make that a little bit better. You'll see we also have some other national summons, the Wailing Lady, Lictorian Guard. I believe we get to summon, 5 Lictors in one go. We can summon a Pride of Lions from the old Empire. We can summon a whole bunch of Wailing Ladies. Wailing Ladies are scary. A ton more, 14 of them. And here at 25 Lictors, we can summon at once for 35 Death Gems. So you see how important the gems are for us. The other thing we're going to be looking at magic-wise is in the enchantment. There's a specific spell in here which we're going to use later on in our playthrough. It's going to be almost key to our play. And that is... oh, where is it? I can never find it. Nope. Nope, it's not this high up. Come on, Grug. Where is the spell? I'm not going to be able to find it, and it's going to be real embarrassing now that I've talked about how important it is. Is it here? Nope. Rigor Mortis Relief, Reanimate. It's never where I think it is the worst part of this. Poison Ward, Twice Death, Raise Dead. Get to hear me mumble as I look for the spell. Is it in Thaumaturgy instead? Ah, there it is. It's in Thaumaturgy. So you see the spell Burden of Time. You need to have 5 death magic to cast it. This spell, when cast, is going to cause everyone in the world who's not undead, or it's going to cause everyone in the world to get old real fast and to get diseases. Because we're undead, we won't have to worry about it. So we're going to try and get that spell and cast it eventually. Let's look at a few of our other troops real quick before we end out this episode. So we also have these Undead Troops that are the free ones that we get. So you see they're long dead Velites from Ermor, Skeletal Legionnaires, risen from the Ashen Fields of Ermor. Legionaries, I can't even talk today. They are armed with rusty spears and tower shields and wear armor of dried leather and rusty iron. Fearless and skilled in combat, they march upon the living to reclaim their dead empire. They do not rout unless all undead commanders are killed. The long dead are mindless and will quickly dissolve if they are broken on the battlefield. So we have, again, amphibians. They're pierce resistant, cold resistant, poison resistant, undead, lifeless, non-eating, mindless, and never healing troops. Pretty cool, huh? So we get a lot of benefits to our troops. But the downside is, if we fight people that have a lot of priests, they can cast spells that cause a lot of damage and wipe us out pretty quickly. Well, folks, that's a quick overview. We'll be doing more of a review of the units that we get as we move through our turns and summon some of them into existence, because we haven't seen half of our armies yet, because it's too early in the game. So with that in mind, we will be doing our first turns and beginning to expand the undead cloud of Ermor the Ashen Empire in the next episode of Gaming with Grug. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please tell your friends, and as always, we hope to see you soon.